All right. Back once again with more Naughty's Indie nonsense. Thanks to the person who put this comment in. Absolute professional. And reminded me that after watching the Cribs on Soccer Aim about Dirty Pretty Things' infamous appearance on there. So it seems like an obvious one to do next. So who have we got on the surfery? We've got Noel Gallagher. Is that Paul Robinson of Leeds United fame?
Two bands we love on Soccer Am are the Libertines and the Cooper Temple Claws. So when we heard Carl from Libertines and Didge from Cooper had formed a band, we knew it was going to be great. Ladies
Some milk on here that might feature later. Just saying.
and gentlemen, it is Carl and Didge from Dirty Pretty Things.
So they're coming in with the milk there. Obviously, the song called Gin and Milk by Dirty Pretty Things. I wonder if that's taking place here. I mean, I don't know whether to say this now at the end, but did come on the podcast and say that they'd basically been up all night after a gig. So that might explain some of the forthcoming behaviour.
It's coming.
Hi, how are you? All right?
All right. While you're settling down, let's
seat.
have a look at you in action.
At least it's much better quality than the Cribs video, to be fair. So got that to work with.
Right, you're
It's a good time.
you were at a gig last night in Wolverhampton, yeah?
Yeah. It's a good time.
You been to bed yet?
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting. Okay.
Isn't it?
That is your single.
Seriously?
Yeah, and your album out on Monday. Number 3 in the midweeks. You happy with that?
Yeah. All right.
Helen?
How were the good people of Wolverhampton last night? Were they nice? Good gig?
I think they were a little bit troublesome last night.
Were they?
But I think at the end of it,
Yeah?
come on. At the end of it all, I think they were happy with it.
All right.
Look at Noah Gallagher. That kind of sums up why I feel watching this a little bit. Look, Noah Gallagher, I think, sums up everyone watching this. Half finding it funny, half thinking, half can't really watch kind of thing.
At the end of it all, I think they were happy with it.
All right. And sadly, that's milk as well.
What do you mean it's milk as well?
That was smell.
Milk as well? What?
That has not gone down well. Noah's not really having it either. Don't think Lovejoy's laughing that off, to be honest.
Oh, come on.
And sadly, you have to leave us early today, don't you? Because you're going up to Dundee.
Yes,
It's
Not already.
it's the big it's the Radio 1's big weekend, isn't it? I think
Yeah.
you've already had quite a big weekend, haven't you? Thank you very much. They asked me for Stan Hibbert's beer earlier.
Is it out the back there?
I saw it.
You never came back to us on that, did you?
No, I didn't, because I don't know what it is. Come on, tell us about your new band then.
Well, working very hard.
Good.
Your milk spitting fool.
Yeah, I've got this thing with milk. It's not to do with the band. It's just always had.
I'll take over from there.
Yeah, should
So,
do.
yeah, no, I don't want to say
This is mental.
yeah, we've been received particularly well. We're pretty happy about it so far. So good. We're still fighting a good fight, so to speak. And spit some milk.
No, let me
No, I'll
just
tell you what we're going to do.
remove
We're
the
going to have a look at where you're playing. Here we go. This is where you're playing. If you want to go and see Dirty Pretty Things, I've heard the album and I think it's really good, guys. So it is top notch.
Will that be on the telly?
What?
Will that be on the telly? Will that be on the telly?
Would that be on the telly? Yeah, it's kind of live. Yeah. Anyway,
It hasn't got any tracks on it.
no, it hasn't yet, but yours makes it on there. So
Well, it hasn't got any tracks on it.
yes, but it does make it on there. We'll leave it there.
Noah Gallagher almost hiding at this point. Fair play.
You're a little
I don't
confused.
understand. I don't.
If it's live, it's got.
Well, it makes no sense.
Carl and Dids from Dirty Pretty Things.
Look at Paul Robinson. He doesn't know what's going on. Don't know where to look.
I imagine Wolverhampton's a good night out.
coming up after the break. Richard E. Grant is on the stage.
All right, Noel Cole, NME this week did a survey to find out the 50 greatest rock and roll heroes ever. You're both in it. Noel, you're number 7. Carl, you're number 5. Let's have a look at the list. What do you make to that?
I'm kind of happy with that because I'm getting on a bit.
I did have a look at it, and no one is getting. No, he's not.
No. I don't think 10 years ago I'd been.
To be honest, I remember like years ago.
For some reason, Carl seems a lot more battered at this point. They must have carried on drinking. Well, it must be the old gin in the milk, I suppose.
Listen, it was the first single I heard was.
This could be a long story.
but it's a good one. Sit your asses round. No, maybe the garden grew. Anyway, no, that song was the first band I heard who had melody and passion and intent. So that inspired me greatly. And I have to thank you.
Did you hear that? That's a pleasure.
Yeah, and those three things inspired me. So, I mean, you have lists every week on the telly and every kind of bollocks programme.
Hey,
Apologise for the swearing.
Every kind of silly programme, you have these lists. Yeah. So, but I mean,
you're enjoying this, aren't you?
Should we go back to that list? It seems a bit mad. It's one of NME's mad lists that probably wouldn't be relevant the next week, as Conor McNicholas said himself.
Survey to find out the 50 greatest rock and roll heroes ever.
50 greatest rock and roll heroes ever. A survey as well, so you're thinking it's voted by the people. Like, you can't argue with Kurt Cobain, I suppose. It's quite funny that Pete Doherty is ahead of Liam Gallagher at this point. I think that shows where things were at this point. Is it 2005, 6? I suppose apart from that, it's very NME, so probably wouldn't think that 2 of the top 10 rock and roll people of all time were called Ian, would you? But there we go.
But just to be associated with these boys is for me an accolade and something I'm proud of.
It's not too dissimilar to being with Liam, apart from the violence. Liam was kind of like that, but he's immensely mean and menacing.
Liam's number 4. He's
mean.
Yeah, he's slipping it. He's slipping, isn't he?
Don't you think? Well, we should. Terry Hall doesn't even make it in there. 50.
Well,
Terry Hall doesn't make it in there. Rubbish.
I mean, Liam Gallagher, he'd absolutely hate being behind Pete Doherty at this point, wouldn't he? Undeniably.
Well, what can you say?
Where were you in the damn list, Lovejoy?
It's a very good point. Rock and roll heroes. Right, thanks, guys.
TV heroes. Jonathan Ross. Right.
He's all right.
Not too dissimilar to what these two do.
Is that Richard E. Grant as well? This surfer is crazy. Oh, I missed that gag.
Rock and roll heroes. Right, thanks, guys.
TV heroes. Jonathan Ross. Right.
He's all right.
Not too dissimilar to what these two do. Just earwigging here during the commercial break.
It was rubbish.
A what?
No, I apologise. Listen, thank you for watching Soccer. It is our last.
I mean, Richard E. Grant here looks like he's in a noughties band, doesn't he? To be fair.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Pleasure. 10 years ruined in the FA Cup.
Oh, he's swearing. He's swearing.
Anyway, after the break, Soccer time.
Welcome back to Soccer AM. We're here with Richard E. Grant. Paul Robinson's here.
Look at his face. Oh dear. He does not know what's happened this morning.
Come on, England. Noel Gallagher's here. Now, sadly, Carl and Dids have had to leave because they're on their way to Dundee. They've got to be up there for the Radio 1 big weekend thingy. Good luck to them, and good luck to everybody in Dundee.
I've got to say, they are top blokes. They've just had a little...
They're rock and roll, aren't they? And Accrington Stanley fans. Right. And and relax.
You love that, didn't you? You love that, didn't you?
Oh, it reminds me of weeks ago. No, it reminds me of my youth, actually. Brilliant. God bless them.
Did you turn up and do interviews drunk?
All the time, yeah. I only started doing them sober about 8 or 9 years ago. It's tedious, man.
Not this show, like that.
No, this is great.
All right, plenty more still to come.
Well, what do you make of that? I mean, they mentioned Soccerette there, which is outdated, but it was that kind of behaviour on TV from Dids and Carl. Outdated, or was it all a bit of fun? It's quite hard to watch. Maybe because I'm a bit older now, it's quite hard to watch at the time. I might find it a bit more humorous. And I think Carl held it together a little bit. Dids didn't actually seem that battered, but he did the milk thing, which was a bit odd. But yeah, I guess different times. I think it's fair to say I preferred the Cribs approach, but it takes all sorts, I guess. Or do you want to see bands doing that now on whatever the equivalent is, Sunday brunch or something? Have your say in the comments.